Hello everyone, it's Maria here from Pepperly Rose Paper Crafting. I am an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Sydney, Australia. Thank you all so much for joining me. Today we're going to make this really cute mailbox and it has like a pull-out tray. This is not an original idea. This is an idea that I got from Made It Crafts. I will link her video in the description below this video. Basically her video blew my mind because to usually make these little mailbox looking treat boxes, they're you know, it's you either use a die or you can use your electronic cutting machine. But she made one that was really cute, and to be honest, doing the door for this, because it's curved and so forth, is really difficult for me to do anyway. So when she showed how to do this with a little box that pulls out, it kind of blew my mind. So I adapted her one to fit a little Twix bar. This is like a shared Twix bar. You can find packets of 12 at the supermarket here in Australia, and I thought it was a fabulous idea. Her one was a lot bigger. This one is a lot smaller, so I've done a mini version of this box. So this is my template, but that's what it will look like. So we'll get started on this today. So for today's box, we're going to use the Takeout Treats, and I'm going to do a Christmas theme one, so we will be using this image over here with the holly leaves and the berries. And we're going to use the coordinating Takeout Thinlits dies, and the die I'll be using today is actually this little one here, which cuts out that image. So that's pretty awesome. And I'm using the Sheltering Tree stamp set. I haven't used this stamp set in forever. And there's a gorgeous little image just down here, and it's got some like little asterisks or like stars and some dots. And I thought that would make a great accent for to decorate my mailbox with. So we'll get started on the project. Also, we'll be using the cookie cutter punch. I think that's what it's called. I'll put the actual name somewhere up here when I edit this video, but I'll be using one of these little circles here. So we'll be using that today. So what you will need is some Poppy Parade cardstock. You'll need 2 pieces of those. For this piece here that makes the box, it's 4.5 by 3 inches, and this is the bit that goes over the top and makes that round, and that piece is 2.5 inches wide by 5.25 inches long. I'm also using a piece of Whisper White cardstock, which is 2.25 inches across by 5.25 inches long. You're going to need a scrap piece of Call Me Clover cardstock. You'll need your 2 Stampin' Up markers, which is Poppy Parade and Call Me Clover, or whatever other markers you wish to use. I'm just using these ones, nice and simple. So we will start off with the project, and also you will need a really thin piece of Poppy Parade, cardstock to kind of make like a post. And this piece, I'm not really sure how much it measures. I'll just grab my, it's really tiny. So basically it's about, I don't know, let's see that there. It's about that long and about 1 inch wide, also just under 1 inch, 3/4 of an inch by, let me see now, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10 and 10 sixteenths, okay? So it's 10 sixteenths by 3/4 of an inch, and that is the measurement for that one. And this one is super duper thin, so, you know, any offcuts you may have, sorry that fell down, any offcuts you may have, just use that. So if we're going to go on the inch mark, you're looking at about roughly 1/4 of an inch long for that. But you'll work it out when you use your, when you make your one. So it's really, really simple. So to start off with, I am going to get my Simply Scored scoring tool. Okay. And on the 4.5 inch side, you are going to score at 1.5 inches. So it's 1.5 inches, and then 3.5 inches. Okay, hang on. Let's get that right. So it's 1.5, and then at 3.5. And then, is that right? Yeah, 1.5, 3.5. And then on the 3 inch side, you're going to score at 1 and at 2. Something does not seem right. No. Okay, where I scored it at the 1.5 inch side, I'm just going to go around on the opposite side, so where the score lines are kind of, not the ones that are dipping the valley, but the other ones. And I'm going to undo that score line. So I'm going to get the fatter end of the stylus, and I'm going to go on the 1.5 inch side, and I'll just press it down gently to undo that score line. But the actual score line has to be at 1 inch. Okay, so I made a mistake there. And you won't be able to tell because it will be underneath. So we'll go through this measurements again. It's 1 inch, and then at 3.5 inches. Then you'll turn it around to the 3 inch side. You'll score it at 1 and at 2. And that is it for your scoring for that piece. For the 2.5 inch piece of cardstock here by 5 1/4, you're going to score it at 1 and then at 4 1/4. And that is all for that one. For the Whisper White piece of cardstock, you will score it again on the 1 and the 4 1/4. And that is it with your scoring. Okay, so we'll leave that there. All right. So what we will do is we will grab our bone folder and we will just burnish all of those score lines. So that will be the round part. So I'll score that one. And then that one. And then for this one, we will score all of the score lines. So you're going to build a little box with this. So I'll just grab my scissors and we're going to cut up the score lines. So cut up all of those score lines. And then for each of them, you're going to miter them in. You'll miter all of them in. Do that again there. If you have any like messy score line pieces like I do here, see that? I'm going to clean that up a little bit. So that's all done. And with these flaps as well, I'm just going to trim off just a little bit. So just a little bit. Okay, and one more there. So it looks like that. So with these now, with these flaps, I'm just going to put some liquid adhesive. You can put whatever adhesive you guys wish. There is, you know, no right or wrong. You can use your tear and tape, your Tombow. I have a ton of this glue, so I use it. And it's just PVA glue. So it doesn't matter which adhesive you use, just use whichever one you prefer. So we'll just build up the walls. Okay. And as you can see, that ugly score line, it can't really be seen that much, so it should be okay. So that's that done. Oops, make sure I press that in. Give it a bit of time to adhere. So as you can see now, you have a little tiny box that fits a little Twix in it perfectly, or you can buy one similar. So I'll leave this to dry without anything in it. Actually, I will put that in there. It's dry now, pretty much. It has adhered down. So I'm going to put my Twix in, and then I'm going to grab the bit that goes around the box like that. So where we have scored here and here, this will go toward on the bottom like that. Now, if to make this sort of curve, you can grab like your glue or anything that's round and just let your cardstock curve a little, because it is quite stiff, and that's what I did to help it to get round. So I'll just put this in there because it adds weight to the box, and that's all dry now. So for this, on the bottom there, I'm going to now add glue to one side there, but you have to keep that free so the box slides in and out. So I'm going to use this one here to stick down that part. So there we go, put that on the bottom. And then what I do with this is to help this slide in and out, is I don't go all the way to the seam, but I go a little bit before, so it's not flush down the bottom. So I just do that, even it up on either side. And I just leave like a little gap like that. I don't know how to explain it in measurements. It's really quite tiny. So this allows you to slide the little tray, the box underneath, in and out. So I'll just press on that for just a minute, just to help it to adhere. Okay, and so far we have our little box. Isn't that cute? Really simple to make. I quite like that it has a tray as well, so it helps to keep the shape in, and you can have other shaped treats in there that are similar. So this is like a layering piece that will go over the top. Okay, so it will also go like this down the bottom. Okay, and we're going to decorate that part. So I'm going to decorate that now. See, it looks gorgeous. So thinking of maybe trimming off some more, and instead of making it a quarter, I'll make it 2 inches. Yeah, I'm going to, instead of 2 1/4 by 5 1/2, I'm going to make it 2 by 5 1/2, because I want there to be a lot of the red as a border for the poppy parade. So I'll just trim that down to 2 inches. And don't throw these strips away, because they make handy things for sentiments and other things. Alright, so what I'll do now is I will grab my craft sheet, and we are going to stamp all over this. So when you see the border now, you can see more of the red, which makes it look really cool. I like that. So I'm going to grab my Poppy Parade ink pad. I'm going to grab this little image that I was talking to you about earlier, that one over here with the stars and the little dots, And I'm just going to stamp all over with the Poppy Parade ink. Okay, so I've stamped that now. I'll just give it a minute or so to dry. Isn't that cool? I quite like that. And it's good to use stamp sets from all over the place. So I'm going to be using my Stampin' Mist today. And clean up my stamps. I really like using my Stampin' Mist when it comes to the reds and things like that. And lately I had forgotten about using it, I have to admit, but I really like the way it cleans off. So, clean some more of this stuff off. So, I've cleaned that off now. Alright. I'm going to leave some of the spray on, try and get rid of the staining. We'll see what happens. It's as an experiment, just leaving some of the Stampin' Mist on there, see what happens. All right. Okay, so I'll get rid of my craft sheet. We don't need that anymore. And we'll bring back our little box. And again, as with our previous wrap, we're going to wrap this around and we're going to put that like that. All right, so we'll add some adhesive on one of the sides here, so I'll just add it there, just on the edge. Now you can use your tear and tape. I like to use liquid glue. It's completely up to you, there's no right or wrong. Okay, so now just make sure that it is even on either side of this, so it looks even. Oops. So remember, with that 1 inch, it's down the bottom, so it provides a nice base. And we'll just even it up on either side so it has a nice even border. And I think that looks pretty even. We'll just stick it down there. I'll just hold on to that, because when it's curved, you've got to give it a bit of time for it to adhere. So I'm just going to hold on to that. And to me, I don't know why, but... oh, I stuck down the wrong one. Here, I'll just stick this part again. I thought, why isn't it sticking? So I'll stick it on the other side too. Oh, geez, I'm silly. Okay. All right, now that's better. All right, I'll hold on to that. Okay, and now it's done. So here's that part. Isn't that cute? All right, I'm going to get my little signpost. And I'll just grab my tweezers and I'm going to put some glue just on here. Is it signpost or flag? I don't know what that's called, but it looks cute, because we don't have mailboxes like this in Australia, unless you really want to have them. These are super cute. I love that. Oh, cute. All right, now with the bottom of this, I'm going to cut out a little circle from my cookie cutter punch. And I'm going to cut out a little circle just here out of Call Me Clover. And that will just add like a little button there. Just like so. I think that turned out really cute. So I will stick that on down the bottom. Just put some glue. Okay, that looks good there. And I'm just going to grab my little Call Me Clover circle, and I'm going to pop that just there. Okay, I think that looks super cute. I'd like to have a touch of green because it will all make sense in a minute. So, with some Memento Tuxedo Black ink, okay, I'm going to stamp that Holly Leaves and Berries. So, where did my piece of paper go? Just had it for a second. There it is. It's right in front of me. All right, so I'll just open that up. Ink that up well with Memento, and I'll just stamp. It turned out beautiful. Okay. Just clean up my stamp, because knowing me, I will get it everywhere. And then I mix things up, and then it becomes a disaster. Okay, you know what, guys? I've just found something. If you leave your stamping mist a little bit on, just leave it on for a while, it does get rid of some of the staining. I'm going to spray on some again, so there's a slight tinge of Poppy Parade on that. I'm going to leave some on again, and if that takes off even more of the staining, we may have discovered a little way of getting rid of a lot of the staining from our photopolymer stamps. We'll see what happens. All right, so with that image now, I'm going to grab my Call Me Clover marker, and I'm just going to mark those holly leaves with the marker very carefully. And because the image is so small, there's no point doing shading, I don't think. So I'm just putting on a block colour. I'll just put some down the middle, that's it. Okay, so that's that. So I'll bring it up closer because it is a bit far. So I coloured that in Call Me Clover. Okay, and now I'm going to get my Poppy Parade marker, and I'm just going to colour in the berries very carefully. This image is tiny. Alright, so I'll bring that close up again. So I've just got a scrap piece of Whisper White there. Okay, looks good. Alright, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Big Shot, but I'm using the magnetic platform today. I'm going to pop that on there, and I'll pick up my Takeout Thinlet dies, and I'm going to take out this little die here, and I'm going to use my magnetic platform. Okie dokie. Now that looks like it'll be okay. Then I'll grab my Big Shot. Sorry, I had to wipe it there. There was a bit of And that cut out that little holly leaf berry just beautifully. So I'll leave that to the side there. Just going to clean my desk a little bit there. Got some Poppy Parade all over it. Okay. All right. Now we've got this teeny tiny piece here. It's so tiny. And what we're going to do is we're just going to stick it onto that over there. So I'll just grab my glue. And I'll put that just on there. And this will make a really cute gift for Christmas, I think. And we're done with this project now. Isn't that cute? And then it's got a little box, and you can pull your treats in and out of that. I think that turned out really cute. And you can use, again, your non-Christmas stamp sets along with your Christmas stamp set. So that's the sheltering tree. But to me, this little accent also looks Christmassy. And I thought it was the right, you know, scale for how small this little project is. So this is really, really cute. Like, it's about 2.5 inches long and an inch wide. So it's really tiny. But that is my project for today. I hope you like this cute little number. If you have any questions, feel free to leave me a question below this video, or you may contact me through my online store at pepperlyrose.stampinup.net. And yeah, I'll get back to you within the 24-hour period. And I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial and a take on May Made It Crafts on her mailbox treat box. So I hope you guys like it. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for coming past, and I appreciate you all watching. Have a wonderful day, and all the products as well that you've seen are available through my online store at pepperlyrose.stampinup.net. Have a wonderful day, and thanks for coming past. Bye.